I'm going to talk about getting our watercolor paper started for the warm and cool tree. So when you get your watercolor paper, you may notice that there's a smoother side and a more textured side. If you can tell the difference, let's put smooth side up. If you can't tell the difference, no big deal. It's two-sided paper. You could watercolor either side, but if you notice it, then let's put the smooth side up. And some supplies you're going to need are a ruler, pencil, a compass, and possibly an eraser. So let's start with our compass and our ruler. So you're going to open your compass up so that the distance between the point and the pencil is 2.5 inches. When we make our circle, that is the radius, that is half of the width of the circle. And if I were to make it a full 3 inches, well, that's half, that would be 6. That would mean our circle is going to be touching from edge to edge. That's too big. So we're going to set this at about 2.5 inches, and I can measure here with my ruler. And then we are going to make our circle on our final draft paper, and I want the pencil to be up here towards the top. So not touching the top, not too far down. We don't want a squatty little tree. So pretty close to the top, just leaving a little space up here. And I'm actually going to hold my pencil down and then kind of set my ruler so that I want the pointy end to be about 3 inches, about halfway through the paper. That will make sure that your circle's not shifted too far to the right or to the left. So again, pencil's about 1/2 inch from the top, and the point is about halfway across the paper. It's 6 inches, so about 3. And I'll move that ruler out of the way, and I'm going to spin my paper around that point as you have practiced, making a circle that should have a diameter of 5 inches. If the radius is 2.5, the diameter is 5 inches. So it is up here towards the top of the paper, and that is good to go. If you don't like it, if it's too far over, too far down, too far up, then erase it and try again. If you're fine with it, I have a little more space on this side and this side, I'm okay with that. I don't need it to be perfectly centered, so we're good. That's all you'll need your compass for, so that's set. And now I'm going to work on drawing my tree. I want my tree trunk to kind of come up here off the bottom of the paper, and it's going to start out a little bit wider at the bottom. It doesn't need to be centered. I don't need to get out my ruler and make a perfectly straight line. This tree's from nature. It's going to not be perfect and geometric. So I'm going to bring my trunk up, getting a little smaller. And if I don't like a line, I feel like that's too angled, I'm drawing light enough that I can erase it and fix it. So as I work, I say, nope, not that line. Erase it and it's gone. Once I have the trunk going up to the bottom of the circle, I can start to work on the top half. And I'm actually just going to start by bringing my trunk all the way up pretty much to the top. And I can split if I'd like and make a branch so it doesn't come all the way straight up to the top. I could split here and start one of my first branches. And now I have all the rest of the space to work on adding more branches. So left or right, top or bottom, it doesn't matter where you start. Branches are a little wider where they connect to the tree, and then they get a little smaller as they grow away from the tree. It could be just a branch like this, or I could branch off from the branch and add smaller branches. Now make sure the branch is not so skinny that you're not going to be able to add patterns. If it's too small and thin, then you're not going to be able to add in the cool patterns, the checkerboard, the things that you practiced. So that one could come here. I could put another one underneath it. This one's going to be a little flatter maybe. Again, a little bit wider where it connects to the tree. And maybe I'll split that into a couple other branches. Maybe another one coming down this way. I'm just making this up. Trees are natural. We're not going to check to see if your tree matches my tree. That would be silly. I could work over here on the other side. Now I don't need to be right here even. I could move this branch up some and split off to make new branches. Maybe some branches can just kind of disappear, or they connect and continue. It's up to you. So look back over. If it starts to get too crowded, I don't really like this. It's getting a little too crowded. Then I can just erase and fix. Maybe I like that, but I want it to just be kind of smaller and whatever I want to do. If there's really big open background shapes, go back and add another branch. Be careful though about adding too many branches. If this circle is full of branches, you're not going to be able to paint any of the red, yellows, and oranges back here, because this is the only place to place those warm colors. So be careful of having too many branches. I'm going to go back with my eraser and get rid of any of the lines that separate these trunks. I want it to just be one big shape. So looking around, wherever one branch came off another, I'm just going to erase. And then here where the circle goes through my tree trunk, I'm also going to erase. Okay, so looks good to me. I can darken, fix, change anything I need to. Next step, we're going to add the grid lines across our paper. So I'll start here at the top of my paper, and we're looking at inches, not centimeters, so inches up here. The 0 is going to be on the left edge of the paper, and we're going to see 6, give or take, it might be a little off, but about 6 on the right. If it is more or less than 6, all I want you to do is line up the 0. Make sure the 0 is lined up here and you're good. We're going to make a mark every inch. So I'm leaving a little sliver of paper up here, enough to make a mark at 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 every inch. You won't mark the edge of the paper. So 0 and 6 you don't need to do anything with. It's just 1 through 5. Then I'm going to slide down to the other half of my paper. And same thing, I'm not going to put my ruler down here. You guys work on black tables with black numbers and see-through rulers, it'd be too hard to see. So I'm going to put my 0 here. I can see all my numbers on my paper. And I'm going to do the same marks every inch. And notice I'm not doing a big fat circle. I just do a little kind of dot line, something like that, just enough to see. Now I'm going to, let me zoom out a little more, connect the dots. So my ruler needs to connect from the dot at the top to the dot down here at the bottom, and I'm going to take a vertical line from one edge all the way to the other. Now I'm not just going from dot to dot, so I'm not going to stop when I get to here. I'm going all the way from edge of the paper down, making a vertical line. Make sure you hold your ruler really flat to your table. You shouldn't be drawing and then it slips and moves your line. I need to hold it really flat to the table. And notice I'm not sitting here with my pencil going really hard lines. I just barely glide it along the paper, just enough to see a line. It should be almost a little hard to see. If you hold your paper too far away or you're holding up for somebody across the room, it should be hard to see all your drawings. I'm going to rotate my paper and do the same thing over here. This time I'm working between the 0 at the left and a 9 over here on the right. Little sliver of paper up here to mark out every inch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Then I'm going to slide my ruler down so I can see my numbers on my paper, still between 0 and 9. Mark every inch again. And again, we're just going to connect the dots. So up here, down below, I'm not going to stop when I get to that dot. I'm going to go all the way to the edge of the paper and keep sliding down the paper, not pushing too hard, not letting my ruler slide. I'm holding my ruler really flat to the table. Till I am finished. So the last thing to do, if you have your circle and your tree trunk and your tree branches and all your grid lines, before you clean up at the end of the day, you need to flip your paper over. We didn't do this at the beginning because some of you guys may have had to flip it over and start again, but up here on the back we need a couple things. That would be your name. first name and your last initial, or you can do your entire last name. We need your art number, whatever we call your class period, and whatever the date is. Write your date here on the back of your work. So it goes on the back.
Miss Solver?